Northern Province mourns as victims of tragic road accident laid to rest. Community Development launches corporate plan. And East New Britain police want stronger response to sex crimes.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Friday's news. On Wednesday, Northern Province grieved while paying tribute to the 13 people killed in a fatal road accident along the Kokoda Highway. The accident occurred on January 2nd when an oil palm fruit truck traveling towards the Higaturu Oil Palm Company mill collided with an oncoming PMV at Pekuma base in the Ijivitari district. Eric Harupma with this report.
Following the tragic road accident, a provincial outcry was organized at the Igaturu Council chambers in Popondetta town. Family members and relatives of the deceased gathered to mourn the unfortunate loss of their loved ones. The accident happened around 3:30 p.m. on January 2nd along the Kokoda Highway at Pekuma base of Igaturu LLG in the Ijivitari district. A food truck of Igaturu Oil Palm Company collided with a PMV truck. According to reports from the Popondetta General Hospital, 13 people were confirmed dead on arrival, with 12 casualties from the Soe district and one from the Ijivitari district, who is the district treasurer. CEO Dr. Gunzi Gawin confirmed that there were 16 survivors, 6 discharged from the wards and 10 still recovering in the hospital. Among the survivors were Justice Worepa from Ivindari village and Palimon Kimana.
Meeting mo sa mi basti burkim legal lo isa fruit carbat. Sama winem api mili guanta bilik na mit troma mi goin salo kunaye. Korta na upside kunaye.
Na masa mi kam liglik stop alright na meeting meri pikinini na luka mi alright.
On Wednesday, the entire province was mourning and grieving with the deceased relatives. A public holiday was declared and business houses were closed as the people gathered to witness the funeral ceremony. The caskets were transported right around Popondetta town to Igaturu Council chambers, where the outcry was.
It's clear to the people of Oro and to this nation that my people and our people didn't ask one dollar from the company in this outcry.
People who are around us, our investors, machines that we're using like vehicles and so, can take the lives of people away, because we're not addressing issues of vehicles that are not roadworthy. We are still using them for our own self and not thinking how it can take people's lives away. As a result, we have lost 13 people.
The 12 caskets were transported to Timbeki village except for that of Philippa Jim, who was from Uru village in the Bokoro area. The casket was officially farewelled by the local MPs. A funeral service was held at the Resurrection Anglican Cathedral for the casket's final blessings. The 80-vehicle convoy had to stop at the crash site for a few minutes as a traditional oral ritual to call the spirits of the dead to go with them. Villagers stood along the roadside and welcomed the envoy in a traditional oral way. The convoy stopped at the junction and farewelled the casket of Philippa Jim, who is the only female from Uru village. The convoy then proceeded with transporting the 12 caskets to Timbeki village, where the caskets will be laid to rest. Popondetta Police Traffic OIC Lawrence Poapona said there were no police reports released about the incident as police investigations are still continuing.
On Monday the 9th of January, what happened is said, but it happened. And now we whatever police reports, all those accident reports, whatever we are doing, we are working on it so that we can help the relatives of the deceased.
A petition was delivered to the management of Igaturu Oil Palm Company with a 50 million kina demand to compensate the life lost and injured passengers.
The company needs to take on responsibility, come down, talk to us, let's find a solution to this issue and move forward. The last thing the committee wants is animosity, anger, frustration against the company. That is what the committee is trying to take control of. And we're asking the company, and even if I can call upon the government of the day, the minister responsible, the Prime Minister, If they can come to us, let's work together, find a solution to this issue. Let's calm those who are frustrated and angry, as I've said, because this is the 16th incident by the company. And we think there are a lot of issues with the management of the company with regard to how it recruits its drivers, who is responsible for the workshop, what kind of instruction and supervision do they give to the drivers, ensuring the vehicles are roadworthy on the roads. These are some of the issues we know, and would like to address this issue with the company. And if the government can get involved through its ministers responsible, officers responsible, it will be best for us.
Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
PMV operators working along the Highlands Highway have also joined the highway drivers to call on the government to fix the Highlands Highway. PMV drivers say the state of the road continues to do damage to their vehicles, and as a result, they are spending more money on getting the vehicles fixed.
Bus operators working between Goroka, Ley and Medang say they are not making the kind of profit they used to. The state of the Highlands Highway has contributed to high maintenance cost. David Cora is a bus driver. He charges 30 kina for passengers traveling from Goroka to Ley, and he says the road needs to be fixed.
Now you road name Highlands Highway, you look at drive like I mumu pull up Highlands Highway now. Side block kartu mi blaroni mo se take him cost higher na saka lilik santi so mi blano working money.
The Highlands Highway is the economic corridor for the country, yet little has been done to fix this problem. If you're driving from the Kasampas area to Kainantu, it takes about 1 hour 30 minutes if the road is in good condition. However, it now takes about 3 hours due to the poor state of the road. PMB drivers are questioning why the national government planned big events like the recent Pacific Games or the APEC Summit meeting when it cannot fix the economical lifeline of this country.
No, road condition and para person mi bla like road service.
Mataluwis, National EMTV News, Goroka.
Land allocated for sports and recreation in the city of Ley has become limited as individuals and companies begin to occupy them. Speaking with EMTV News, City Manager Roy Cummins says the fences and structures being built on city land were not approved by the Morbe Provincial Land Board. Ley residents are questioning why land allocated for public use is being used for commercial purposes. Harry Agimbari with this report.
Ley has seen a steady growth in both its population and business activity. Promises of a better life and of development lure people to the city. But as businesses seek to expand, land is becoming short. Businesses are now resorting to using public land set aside for recreational purposes. Ley City Council Manager Roy Cummins identified the issue as being with individuals seeking land titles from the National Lands Board.
But what we're trying to do is some titles were obtained without the consent of the Fiscal Planning Board and the Land Board, Provincial Land Board. People went direct to Port Moresby and they got titles which they bypassed the provincial authorities. So,
at the beginning of the week, an angry mob demanded a construction crew to take down what was to be a temporary shelter next to the Lutheran church in town. It was for a local business. Frustrated, they wanted land for the public to remain free for resting and walking. Council Manager Kamen says procedures are in place, but they are in dire need.
It's called the two types of grants. One is called VSS, the Village and Social Services Grant, and the other is the Land and Physical Infrastructure Grant. That's $1 million each, so you can imagine the type of money that we get and then the type of service that people require us to provide. We cannot provide.
Despite all this, Ley still remains a lucrative location for business, education, work and play. Harry Agimbari, National EMTV News, Ley.
The Department of Community Development and Religion today celebrated the launch of the Corporate Plan 2017 to 2021, the operational plan and department's website. Going forward, these key features will play a spinal organizational role in policy objectives into a 5-year implementation plan. Minister responsible Delilah Gore proudly officiated the launch in the presence of key figures including Chief Secretary to Government Isaac Lupari, among donor partners, UN agencies and department heads.
Envisioning equitable, knowledgeable and productive families and communities for a sustainable future, the Department of Community Development and Religion looks half a decade into the future while keeping the last 5 years as a guide to implement the corporate and operational plans. Through the next 5 years, the department's mission is to develop and promote socio-economic policies, legislations and institutional strengthening through partnership and mobilization of resources to improve the lives of the marginalized and vulnerable groups in the country. Basically, these plans are set to bring about outcomes of improvement in the planning and reporting processes and operations, as well as human resource management within the Department on Internal Policies, the Public Finance Management Act and Public Services Management Act. Officiating the program today, Delilah Gore highlighted the department's achievements throughout her tenure as Community Development and Religion Minister.
I feel that I'm really ending this term on a very high note with the 5-year development plan, the annual corporate plan, and the website being launched. And that's really an achievement because this department is one of the departments that funding is given very low funded department. I want to thank the team, secretary and head team, for being the second department to launch their corporate plan.
As she spoke fondly of the department, Minister Gore did not fail to congratulate her staff and notable figures for the results in this achievement. Department Secretary Anna Solomon explained how the office plans to implement these plans going forward.
Know that government, we need a lot of support. So we've got a workshop here in the same venue on the 24th and 25th where we're bringing in all the partners. They've all been informed. They need to see which areas in these plans they will support government to achieve. And for us in the department, this has created our sectional work plans, and individuals are creating their individual work plans from here. They will be specifically assessed against their performance appraisal forms, against the key result areas, for purposes of increment, for purposes of promotion. It's all captured in this one document.
Apart from the corporate and operational plans, the Department of Community Development and Religion's ICT team also presented and launched the department's all-new website that will now allow public interaction with the department. Lorraine Gabina, National EMTV News.
When we come back, tackling serious crimes in East New Britain, village court officials appalled at the state of a rundown police station and frustrated casuals demand payment from Electoral Commission. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Sexual Offence Squad in East New Britain Province have revealed an estimated 5 sex crimes are reported to the police every week. Although the figures may not seem that many, it doesn't mean crimes of sexual nature are not being committed at all. And they need help from other stakeholders in the province in a big way. Edwin Fidelis reports from Kokopo.
East New Britain Province is known for all the wrong reasons when it comes to sexual offences, particularly incest, a topic that make headlines time and again. Police figures show that at least 5 sexual offence cases are reported every week. Sexual penetration of minors, rapes and incest are the 3 sex crimes found appearing more often in the daily occurrence book. Sergeant Joe Bumaro is the head of the Sexual Offence Squad in East New Britain Province. He tells me only a few victims are coming forward to report the matter to the police. Others have the matter resolved out of the formal court system using traditional means, while many more are simply reluctant to report the crime because they are scared to be subjected to shame and social stigma in their communities.
I believe the crimes have been committed. Either people are not willing to come forward to report the matter, or some of these matters are being settled in the village level.
Sergeant Bimaru says more awareness needs to be done in the communities to educate the people about the current laws that were made to protect them. But the office is also facing limited resources, and it is an office that simply don't have a car to carry out its duties effectively.
This office needs to go out to the community, to the districts, and do more awareness on these sexual crimes.
But Sergeant Bimaru and his team seem to be the only humanitarian group maintaining consistent arrests and help the victims seek justice. Last year, the team made 51 arrests and pushed the perpetrators to stand before the courts, with many more who are yet to be served with justice.
The rape for the whole year, rape, January to December, that's 24 reported. That's 24 here. So, people arresting 14 per month, it's 11 pending here. These statistics were extracted from our SOS investigation progress record book.
But beyond the walls of this office, the silence about sex crimes remained unreported and largely unheard in this part of the country. Many perpetrators continue to escape with impunity. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
A group of village court magistrates have raised concerns about the state of the Malahang police station in Leh that has fallen into disrepair. Built several years ago, the police station, strategically located near the Malahang Industrial Center, remains largely unused and unmanned. Currently, village court magistrates are using one of the rooms for court hearings.
This police station is in a key location near the Malahang Industrial Center and where a large population of people live. But the station has no permanent police presence. The floorboards are rotting and the beams have been eaten by termites. Village Court Magistrate Oscar Iva, also a reserve policeman, says the station needs to be fixed by the provincial government and the Leh District Administration.
Malang eme kama one big place. Multi-million company, belong all government to investment all come stop. That's all safety belong all in stop. We just go two step along here, you must saving warrant, heavy sa come up here. Police must pan him hard. Chinatown him stop long way. Omili stop long way. Malang and plan the heavy sa come up.
Every day, village court magistrates come here for village court hearings. It is an essential part of the community law and justice system, which is very much neglected. But it's not just the police station that needs help. With no central location, the village court magistrates use the rundown police station to conduct business.
Only when you get to talk to them, you understand how much the third tier of law and justice is suffering. Village court magistrates don't have adequate resources to conduct their duties, and their monthly allowances are never paid on time.
Government, looks at the village court. Time and effort belong long. Village court, law community, law settling, all kind of areas, so government looks at it. Purposely, long maintaining peace and harmony. Long look, by even looking building, collapse. People conducting cases, long floor, no got table, chairs. This is the, disgrace.
The village court magistrate / reserve policeman Oscar Iva says while there is a lot of talk about building investor confidence in Leh, an important piece of the puzzle is being neglected. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Leh.
An angry crowd of enrollment agents demanding payments fronted up at the Electoral Commission office in Boroko today. The enrollment agents say they were employed by Electoral Commission last December as casuals to update the NCD electoral roll. Adelaide Sirux Kari with more.
The enrollment agents were angry and frustrated after payments owed to them from the Boroko Electoral Commission office were overdue for a month. John Barra, representing the agents, said that the 14-day payments that were paid to agents were only for 10 days, while some haven't received any payments at all.
Some representatives from the Electoral Commission came and they met us at the Jagpidik Oval and told us that once you finish the job, we press the button and you get your money. Now, upon that promise, we worked. Others took the advantage of seeing that there are some are being paid cash. And some people on the street, they just came in, walked into the office, and they started calling all sorts of names, and then That's how some of our pay is lost in this way. And others, they came back the second time, they probably claimed the pay again.
NCD election manager Terence Itano addressed the angry crowd, saying that due to false claims and double payments, the Boroko head office had sent a list of names and accounts to the bank to check to ensure that there weren't double payments.
Current payments now, the problem, because the first lot of payments here, and we got the wrong accounts, it's like an osema. Some people didn't carry through the accounts, some got double payments. Bank is the delay, me talking about selling some reports. HR can confirm. Can confirm about talking about because of authorizing payment now. Because the reporting can change. That statement from bank, we don't come here.
But the explanation did not sit well with the agents. They argued that the commercial banks would not take a month to process the details and that they wanted the truth. To calm the situation, Hitano assured the agents he would call the head office. Police arrived to calm the situation. Hitano then returned and told agents that they would receive their payments next Wednesday, and the delay was with the Electoral Commission's head office.
Now, so the commissioner, deputy commissioner, I'm signing claim now, Mr. Right now, and new player, finance department, I'm giving money to electoral commission, allocation to commission running election this year. So what will make him is the claim will be sent to finance department and will take him 2 to 3 days.
Meanwhile, the word from the Electoral Commission head office is that there was a shortfall of 200,000 kina from the funds received to pay them. Electoral Commission office is currently awaiting the bank statements from Bank of South Pacific to confirm the amounts that have been paid so they can rectify it. Adelaide Xerox Kari, National, EMTV News.
The vice-regal post should not be used as a rubber stamp to approve any documents that are not in the best interest of the sovereign nation. This is from former politician Timothy Bonga, who wants to become the next Governor-General. He said constitutional duties must be addressed to allow democracy to flourish in the country.
This was his response when questioned by EMTV. What should be done to restore the trust and confidence of the Governor-General's office? Mr. Bonga has raised his hand vying for the vice-regal post.
I feel that I can contribute meaningfully to this office. My political career has also gave me the opportunity to act as Governor-General from time to time as a Speaker of Parliament.
Bonga, who has vast experiences in politics since 1981, is concerned about the Governor-General's office, saying it's deemed, although considered as the highest office as representative of the Queen in the Commonwealth nation.
Is that vice-regal, being the representative of the Queen, is the head of this state, must at all times consult with the government of the day.
And he's overwhelmed by the support given to him, confident to become the Governor-General. But the onus will be on the floor of Parliament to vote for the best candidate to this highest office.
There has been a lot of challenges in the Constitution, and that is one of the very important things that we need to work closely to try and address that. Because if we continue to breach our own Constitution, then who would have confidence in us? And that's why vice-regal position is very important also. It's not just a ceremonial position. It's not a rubber stamp. People tend to think that way. I don't. I'm a nationalist.
He's decisive and wants a God-fearing government to bring the country on track. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3150 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3075, $0.4043 Australian dollars, $0.286 euro and 35.1 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, cocoa closed lower while gold, coffee and copra closed the day higher. Copper closed lower while palm oil and crude oil closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 72.32 points lower, the ASX closed at 37.43 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 35.7 points lower. In the news ahead, teachers want to resume duties on time, and the United Nations Capital Development Fund celebrates 50 years. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Staff of the National Education Department today pledged to abide by the Code of Business Ethics and Business Conduct in order to deliver outcomes of quality education. In a dedication service today, Education Minister Nick Kuman reminded them that they have a public duty to perform and achieve results in the delivery of education services.
The dedication service united the employees of the National Education Department in Port Moresby. Among them was the National Education Minister, Nick Kuman, Education Secretary, Dr. Uke Kombra, and Teaching Service Commission Chairman, Baran Sori. Minister Kuman reflected on the importance of education as a critical investment for the government, parents and guardians and families. He said education is the solution and most powerful tool to change the world, and that is why the national government has invested in education. And whilst there are loopholes to be fixed, Minister Kuman was confident that some of the key result areas were achieved over time. Meanwhile, Secretary Kombra said 2017 will be a challenging year with the upcoming national general election. However, this should not stop the department to continue to deliver its education priorities. Dr. Kombra called on all employees to be loyal in their public duties. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, teachers in the country have been warned of their performance, and they will be slapped with the first disciplinary action if they fail to resume duties on time. This warning is from the Teaching Service Commission.
The Teaching Service Commission has issued a stern warning to all teachers to step up in their performance because they will be strictly monitored. Chairman Baran Sori says performance will be monitored through the resumption of duty summary sheet. Teachers who fail to resume duties next week, Monday, will face a reduction in the LEFAS and performance-based salary scale because they are consistent with relevant sections of the Teaching Service Act with the Salaries and Allowances Agreement policy. This also applies to teachers who leave work during the academic year. Mr. Sori says the Commission will begin monitoring teachers' attendance and performance in NCD schools to ensure they start and leave work on official time. It will be made mandatory for all head teachers to produce monthly returns to the Commission on teacher attendance and performance. This program will be rolled out to all other provinces, including the autonomous region of Bougainville. Although the decision might be painful for some teachers, Mr. Sori says teachers must comply. In the meantime, teachers resigning from teaching service and applying for readmission after a year or two is becoming a concern for the Teaching Service Commission. This year, the Commission will not readmit teachers who left to work for over 12 months because they have made the decision to leave teaching because this might affect students' learning. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
In related news, a decision has been made. No teachers will be involved in the conduct of this year's national general election. That's from Education Minister Nick Kuman, who issued a directive to teachers, adding that elections should not compromise teaching and learning. Teachers who fail to adhere to this instruction will be dealt with accordingly. The Marlborough Provincial Education Division had set a 5-year target to clean up the system from 2017 to 2021. Teachers with questionable qualifications will be identified and removed, and stricter discipline will be imposed based on a new set of standards. The Provincial Program Advisor said the division is expected to implement these targets starting this academic year. Julie Bodui Owa with this report.
Many schools in Morobe have vacancies because the Education Division has not taken on board all the new graduates for TVET, secondary and primary schools. Teachers who graduated last year from colleges throughout the country missed out in the 2017 postings.
We have records and we have evidence of new graduate teachers coming up with fake documents, fake certificates, forged signatures.
The cleaning process of the division's education system also includes students' discipline. With the high rate of school fights in Morobe last year, the division has decided to phase out the boarding facilities of Bugendi Secondary School in Ley. The Education Division had set a new strategy in constructing provincial school rules for schools in Morobe, which will be endorsed by the Provincial Education Board and will be ready to use after the Provincial Executive Council cites it.
We're also going to look at areas like cybercrime. It's going to cover that one too. This is the new development, that school rules does not cover that. And we are looking at that seriously.
The provincial program advisor said cleaning up the system also include the administration of the Education Division. Jerome said more effort will be put into processing of teachers' leave fares. Furthermore, the provincial social sector will be imposing disciplinary actions to all officers working at the administration level to make sure the officers perform their duties.
Punctuality, late coming to work. These are some of the deficiencies that are attributed to teachers and clients and everybody not happy with the kind of services that we deliver to them, expected at the provincial level.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Ley.
The United Nations Capital Development Fund commemorated its 50th anniversary last night. UN Resident Coordinator for PNG, Roy Tribady, described the agency as a story about innovation using financial leverage to make a bigger impact in developing countries. PNG is amongst the 48 developing countries who are recipients under this agency.
United Nations Capital Development Fund is a financial agency under the UN that delivers financial models in delivering resources to reduce poverty and support local economic development. With its mission to make finance work for poor people, they operate by sourcing resources from public and private partnerships. It is a sister agency of the UN's development program and contributes to the Sustainable Development Goals.
It's to both learn from the Papua New Guinea market and take experience out of Papua New Guinea, as well as bring some of the best ideas and experience and expertise into Papua New Guinea. And that's part of the beauty of having a regional program like this, the PFIP. And all of this is of course possible because of the readiness of governments and other partners to experiment with such innovations and implement smart strategies to reduce poverty and promote inclusive growth.
One of the models of UNCDF is financial inclusion, with PNG the first Pacific Island nation to join. The Pacific Financial Inclusion Program has been working with the Bank of Papua New Guinea and the Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion to develop and implement national financial inclusion strategies.
2016-2020 was again launched by the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, Honorable Peter O'Neill. So this is not just the Bank of Papua New Guinea doing this in isolation with the donor partners, but it has a credible partnership with and support of the national government of Papua New Guinea. So this is deep-rooted. CEFI is one of those in the Pacific. This CEFI is the only institution that is given the role of coordinating and managing financial inclusion activities.
UNCDF will be working with various financial service providers to improve access to finance in rural PNG with specific focus on the highlands.
Indeed, we try to increase the financial inclusion through access of financial services in agricultural value chain. Agriculture is one of our focal sectors of development. We look very close into that. We are going to continue focusing our cooperation on agriculture over the coming year, and that's extremely relevant to see how we can really support.
Merlin Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
Chukai Sports is next. Stay with us for the details.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. 2017 Rugby League World Cup Chief Executive Officer Andrew Hill arrived in the country. He is here to meet with the local organising committee on preparations towards the hosting of this world event in Port Moresby later this year.
PNG Rugby Football League Chairman Sandy Saka, when welcoming Hill and his team to PNG, said the Rugby League World Cup officials will also meet with Sports Minister Justin Chachenko, National Capital District Governor Powis Pakop, and sponsors of this event. PNG is hosting 3 pool games in Port Moresby, and Andrew Hill and his team are here to discuss the preparations and delivery of this world event. The 2017 Rugby League World Cup, co-hosted by PNG, Australia and New Zealand, will not only see the world's best rugby league players showcased, but will also allow the visitors to experience PNG's wide and diverse cultures, people and environment. This is a very important year for rugby league in the country as they prepare to host this world stage event. The home games at the National Football Stadium in Port Moresby will see PNG play Wales on October 28th, Ireland on November 5th, and the USA on November 12th. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Despite his season-ending shoulder injury, Billy Slater's career will not end at just 278 games. The injured Melbourne Storm's fullback, who lost almost 2 seasons due to 2 consecutive injuries on the same shoulder, will make his comeback next month in the Melbourne Storm's pre-season trials. Though the team will not let Slater take any chances with the Auckland Nines, assistant coach Jason Riles said the 33-year-old will definitely be playing in the 13 versus 13 trials. The shoulder injury has limited the fullback to only 8 games in the last 2 seasons, and since opening old wounds last March, Auckland Nines is totally out of the picture after trials as he awaits the 2017 season. PNG has witnessed and participated in international football events staged on home soil, and it is evident the country has never been short of talent. But it's the geographical challenges of its landscape that continues to prove an obstacle for football development.
The Papua New Guinea Football Association, established in 1962 and affiliated to FIFA shortly after, has been working hard to overcome these challenges. Over the years, President David Chung and his administration has taken a national approach, where previously the focus had been regional and at times fractionalized. The National Soccer League was introduced in 2006 and, despite significant logistical challenges, has continued to run successfully. And with the recent turmoil, the future of the semi-professional competition hangs on balance. Men's football competes with popularity of other codes such as rugby league, but for women, perhaps the #1 sport in Papua New Guinea is football. Through continued PNGFA support, the national women's side has secured a historic 3 successive titles at the Pacific Games and has gone close to qualifying for the FIFA Women's World Cup and Olympic Games, if not for rival New Zealand, who knocked out PNG at the final hurdle. And the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup Papua New Guinea 2016 has drawn the local football fans into an absolute frenzy, with the spoil of international football matches staged on home soil. The men's national team achieved a significant height on the international scene, facing professional clubs and international sides in Asia, before reaching the final of the OFC Nations Cup with New Zealand, that came down to a penalty shootout in which the All Whites triumphed to claim their 5th regional title. However, PNG returns to World Cup qualifying action against Tahiti in March 2017, with the hope of qualifying for the 2018 FIFA World Cup Russia. Shane Soroya, National EMTV Sports.
Chukai Sports continues after the break. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. A groundbreaking ceremony yesterday for the PNG AFL signaled the construction of the newly built AFL facility, including the field. The construction of the new AFL facility will feature a social area, changing facility, gym, and a whole lot more to do with AFL. Present at the ceremony were Sports Minister Justin Tichenko, Australian High Commissioner, PNG AFL Commission, and invited sponsors who witnessed the event. Godwin Eki reports.
The groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of the newly built AFL facility that will be a state-of-the-art and built to an international standard will help AFL clubs in Port Moresby prepare well to participate in organised tournaments and national events. The field that you see now and the surrounding land will be transformed once the construction takes its course. To acknowledge the transaction between corporate and government bodies to make the construction of the AFL facility possible, Sports Minister Justin Tichenko thanked all who were involved in the process for their help and support in making the development a reality. Tichenko says the negotiations that took place late last year to subclass the last piece of land to be developed has finally been commissioned and ready for construction.
Enhancing their ability to build themselves up and the experience up to an international level, and also then having talent scouts looking at our Papua New Guinean players and incorporating them into the AFL major teams.
According to the plan and design of the facility by Garrett Construction, once complete, the facility will have a changing room, storage room, facility, public toilets and gymnasium, and many other beneficial areas for AFL. Deputy Chairman of PNG AFL Commission Lloyd Bakani encouraged the up-and-coming talents to develop the code further and to become good sportsmen and women.
This game is just like any sport. It's not only for you to play and enjoy the game, but also to change your attitude. You also have to look into your inner part of you and change your way, how you do things, how you conduct your life on a day-to-day basis.
Bakani says with the interest of the code gaining popularity in other parts of the country, the new facility will help boost the interest of the code and attract more young men and women to participate. While foundations are yet to be procured, when the facility meets completion, it will be able to host international matches, with talks underway to one day invite Australia and New Zealand to participate in an event on home soil in the newly built facility. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
With only 56 days to the PNG Games, Sports Minister Justin Tichenko has reiterated that the PNG Games will proceed as normal and gave his assurance that sporting facilities which are 90% complete should be ready for use. He said all stakeholders are working closely together to help deliver the Games on time.
The PNG Games will be Games ready. They will be Games ready in March this year. And West New Britain and the Hock Committee and the provincial government are really keen to ensure that it's a major success for their province and also for the PNG Games. And a lot of the facilities now are 90% complete. The contractors are finalising and finishing off all the finishing works that they require to do for the PNG Games. And that will allow for a very successful competition. Once all these facilities are finished, West New Britain will be the new sporting hub for the New Guinea Islands region.
All Blacks 5'8" Aaron Cruden is bound for France after signing a profitable 3-year deal with the French club Montpellier for the 2017 to 2018 Top 14 season. This was the result of being benched during the last season after Beauden Barrett took his place on the field.
Via an online video posted by Cruden on Wednesday, the 28-year-old expressed his excitement at playing with the All Blacks, Manawatu and the Chiefs for one last season before taking his leave.
This will be my last year playing rugby here in New Zealand, representing Manawatu, the Chiefs and also the All Blacks, three teams that I love dearly.
Coach Steve Hansen urged the 322 points test scorer to stay,
Though saddened at the prospect of leaving the All Blacks, the first 5'8" is also excited for next year. Meanwhile, he still hopes to make the cut for the New Zealand's Lions series.
Future holds an All Blacks jersey for me in the Lions series. You know, I'll be working my butt off to hopefully make sure that happens.
The possibilities of him making it back to the All Blacks side does not look so promising, as past selectors have not been so lenient with players who went overseas. Charles Putau is an example of that when he missed out on the 2015 World Cup after signing with Ulster. In the meantime, former All Black Jeff Wilson is rooting for Cruden's successful submission back into the Lions series, though he realized it is going to be tough with the likes of Bowden Barrett already occupying his spot and Damian McKenzie in tow. Dini Rose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Chukai Sports. The weather details when we come back.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow, in the southern region, cloudy periods with light to moderate occasional showers in Port Moresby, cloudy with occasional showers and possible thunderstorms in Daru and Kerema, mostly fine with chances for afternoon passing showers in Alotau, and partly cloudy with chances of light brief showers in Popondetta. In the Momasi region, cloudy periods with light to moderate occasional showers in Lae, Wewak and Vanimo, and partly cloudy with likely brief showers in Medang. In the New Guinea Islands region, cloudy with showers likely in Lorengau, cloudy periods with chances for afternoon showers developing in Kevieng and Kimbe, mostly fine then becoming partly cloudy with brief showers developing in Kokopo and Rabaul, and partly cloudy with chances of light rain showers developing in Buka. And in the Highlands region, cloudy periods with rain showers in Mount Hagen, and cloudy periods with chances of light to moderate rain showers developing in Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
Before we go, stories making headlines today. Northern Province mourns as victims of tragic road accident laid to rest. Community Development launches corporate plan, and East New Britain Police want stronger response to sex crimes. And that's been the National EMTV News this Friday, the 20th of January 2017. On behalf of the EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.